who has sort of made this pretty incredible organization and mission to go out and sort of spread awareness of what it means to live without limitations. After that, we'll hear from Taylor Kane, who is just as fiery and will tell us a little bit more about her efforts to build community among women with ALD. And then we'll also have a couple of words from Emma Hayes, who's another young woman living with ALD, and will tell us about her campus experience. So without further ado, here's Chris. You need hands? Yeah. There's that determination.
Well, hello everyone. I appreciate the workout that you guys are giving me with the carpet and the ramp. So my name is Chris Kegg. So I want to thank everybody, Camille, and everybody who had me down. I appreciate you guys having me out here. I just spoke at the ULF conference in Charlotte back in June, I believe, and it was the first time in probably over 10 years that I had been involved with the scientists and the doctors and a lot of the families, and it was a really great experience. So I'm really happy to be here and hearing stories of other people and the things that everybody's doing. So I'm excited to see that there's obviously some positive things happening, as well as some of the stories of the way people are dealing with it and the lives that they lived, despite the fact that they had this disease. So I want to talk about a lot of things that I've done. I've been dealing with AMN since I was 21. I am 42 now, so I'm an old guy. But it's something that I've been able to really establish myself in doing other things, and I've tried to redefine myself and define my life by what I'm doing, and not by the fact that I have AMN. So hopefully you can get something out of me being here, and if you guys have any other questions or any other things you'd like to talk about, I'll be here for like another hour or so after I'm done. So to start off, the title of my presentation is Improvise, Adapt, Overcome. And these are three simple words that I learned back when I was about 17 years old, and I'll be getting into what that is. But the picture up here pretty much epitomizes my life right now. I'm living the most fulfilling and happy life. I kind of joke I'm the happiest son of a bitch you're going to meet, and I love the fact that I can say that, just because I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be pissed. We all have challenges. We all have crosses to bear, but unfortunately you have to figure it out on your own how you're going to deal with those challenges. So that's my wife, Gretchen, and my son, Carter. He is not that little. He's 5 years old now. But this picture is at the top of the pinnacle near Hamburg, which is a really challenging hike that we do, but I do it on my mountain hand cycle. So when I'm up there, you'll see the creeper in the back taking a picture of me. I try to get out there and showcase to people that you see a guy in a chair, but I'm still out there trying to do as much as I can. So my story starts just, I'm sure, like everybody else's. I was born normal. Lived a normal childhood. Played sports. Rode skateboard, rode bikes, got in accidents, did a lot of stupid stuff. Played football ever since I was about 8 years old. And then, unfortunately, when I got older, when I became a teenager, I was really lazy. And my brother, who's over here right now, he can attest to this as well. So my senior year in high school, I was about 230 pounds. I was just a, fat, lazy, out of shape, with no, intention to do anything else. But when I graduated, and we'll see how this goes. Yes, when I graduated from high school, I went to Parris Island, South Carolina. So my dad, my grandfather, my uncle, and my brother as well, we were all Marines. So I wanted to be a Marine ever since I was about 8 years old. So when I got out of high school and didn't really prepare myself to go to boot camp, when I stepped off that bus, all hell broke loose. So here's a 230-pound kid. Didn't really know what the heck I was able to do. Didn't really know what I was able to accomplish. But when you get to Parris Island, the drill instructors really don't care. They're there to motivate the hell out of you, and they're there to train you to become a Marine. So 3 months while I was there, never dropped out of any challenge. Got challenged every single day. Every day I thought I was going to die. But 3 months later, I walked across the parade deck, and I was 180 pounds, and just thought I could, pretty much do anything. Thought I could walk in front of a bus and nothing was going to hurt me. So that's the first part of what saved me and really molded me into what I am today, and the reason I'm able to be here in front of you guys and living a pretty happy life. So 2 weeks after my 21st birthday, I was overseas in Alviano, Italy, and I went out for a run to get ready for my physical fitness test with a buddy of mine, and I noticed that my feet were dragging and really had no idea what the hell was going on. So, I went to the doctor. They pretty much said I had foot drop, and I just needed to keep my boots loose, and even though I was about 18 years old, I knew that was BS. So about 6 weeks later, nothing had changed, so I went back to the doc, and this time the doc, he put a little. So they sent me back to the States. I spent 9 weeks down at Walter Reed Hospital down in D.C., and in February of 1998, I was diagnosed with AMN. And luckily, Hugo Moser was, right down the street over at Kennedy Krieger, and he, came out to the neurology department, gave them a whole, overview of what the disease was about, because I was pretty much like a guinea pig. Nobody had ever heard of it. Nobody knew what was going on. But when I was diagnosed, I remember it to this day. So I was sitting in the hallway of the hospital, and when the doctor came up to me and told me, I really didn't have the normal reaction a lot of people think that you will. Were you depressed? Were you pissed off or whatever? No, I was relieved. I was relieved that I actually knew what the heck was going on. That I was like, oh, okay, there's an answer. So, all the training that I went through and all the things that I, accomplished when I was in boot camp really started to come into, to play now. So, unfortunately, my Marine Corps career was done. So I had to come back home. I went back to school, and I had to try to figure out what the next stage of my life was going to be. Just like anybody, when you're 21 years old, you're trying to figure your life out. You're trying to figure out where you fit in. You're trying to figure out what your goals and your achievements are going to be. So I had to figure that out. And unfortunately, now I had something else that I had to contend with as well. So, 2 words: improvise, adapt. These are pretty simple words, and this is what I learned when I was a 17-year-old recruit. When I was there, I didn't really know. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, improvise, adapt. But these 3 words, improvise, adapt, overcome, they started to really come into play a lot. So, one of the things that boot camp really did for me, I had a drill instructor. I was doing my final run, about 4.5 miles, and it was basically a full-out sprint. I thought I was going to die, and my drill instructor, he said, "Don't quit on me, Keg." And if anybody knows anything about drill instructors, you know that they're not very encouraging. They don't say any good things. So when he said that, that just totally put a foot in my ass and got me across that finish line. And it was one of those things where once I started having my problems, once I started tripping over my feet, once I started losing my balance, I started to just repeat that in my head. I used to just say, "Don't quit on me, Keg." So my drill instructor is. This happens every now and then. So my drill instructor is somebody who I really attribute a lot of my success to, because he was the one who said those 5 simple words that pretty much got things moving for me and got me motivated as hell. So the best quote that I have, it's not whether you get knocked, it's whether you get back up. And as Ben was saying, he tries to live his life without falling. I fall all the time. So it's a literal statement as well as a philosophical. It's like I want to make sure that everybody gets back up. You're going to have your challenges. You're going to get beaten, but at the same time you can still get back up, and you can hopefully be stronger for it. So that's what I believe this condition has done for me. There's not a day that goes by that I would not give anything in this world to be able to have my legs back, to be able to have the life that I had before. But I don't know if I'd have the same perception of what I'm able to do and what I'm able to accomplish. So that's what's led to the things that I'm doing now. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I went back to Penn State, went back to school to try to figure out what it is that I wanted to study. When I got out of college, I had a hard time finding somebody who's going to hire me. So I decided to hire myself. So 2004, I started Core Fitness. So again, I'm a Marine, and now this is an extension of my Marine Corps career, even though it was cut short. So now I get a chance to wear civilians out, and they pay me for it, which is pretty freaking awesome. So I started out of the back of my truck in 2004, just trying to motivate and inspire, other people who never had that defining moment or had those challenges, that they could realize what more they could be doing. So, we started out in local parks, and then in 2007, we got Building 7. So now we're in a 13,000 square foot facility. I have over 300 people who come out to my facility, and it doesn't matter if they're able-bodied or adaptive. And I call it adaptive because we're not disabled, we're just doing things differently. Because I do more things than most able-bodied people I know. So I want to make sure that nobody says disabled, because I'm going to laugh at you. So our building, it's just a really motivating, encouraging environment. So, doesn't matter if you're 8 years old, 75 years old, doesn't matter if you have no legs, if you can't use your legs, if you have no hands, you're still going to be, out here, you're going to get challenged by me. I'm going to expect the same things from everybody. So I really think that this facility, puts kind of everybody on a level playing field. So there's not disabled and able-bodied. No, we're all together. We're all going to do the same thing. We just modify and do whatever we need to do to make it work for everybody. So that same year that I started Core Fitness, I guess I was really bored because I needed to do something else. So 2 weeks after I graduated, I decided to raise money for nerve damage research. So originally, Got the Nerve, ? That's the name of my triathlon I started. I didn't want to do an event that was a walkathon or a readathon or something that wasn't very challenging. So I decided to start a triathlon. And originally I was raising money for the Mylan Project. And the Mylan Project, I was actually on their board, had a chance to meet a lot of great people, and I thought that the money that I was raising was going to hopefully get me walking again. But about 3 years after I started Got the Nerve, I really wanted to see exactly where my money was going, and I wanted to have a tangible response to all the things that I was trying to do. So in 2007, I decided to start the I Am Able Foundation. And the I Am Able Foundation is an organization that I just want to motivate the hell out of everybody. I want to make sure I give people the opportunities to get out and be as active as possible. And that's something that I've been talking to a few people about. I really want to do more for the AMN ALD community. I really want them to understand, and a few people had said about being, well, actually, Ben, you said it, about being physically active. It's not only beneficial from a physical standpoint, it's beneficial psychologically. I started hand cycling about 16 years ago. I got my brother Eric his first hand cycle, so just trying to get out there and show that you can still do things. When I get out and ride with my friends, we'll do 20 miles. I'm riding with my arms, while they're riding with their legs. Yeah, it sucks. And it took a while for me to get to that point where it didn't really bother me. But now my brother Eric and I, we mountain bike pretty much every week. It's just an amazing opportunity. Right now is the best time to be disabled. There's so many opportunities out there. You just have to know the people that are going to expose you to them. So please, I would love for everybody to consider me a resource. I would love to talk to anybody. If there's anybody that has any interest in doing anything active, let me know, because I'm pretty active. So that picture right there, just a kind of a little side note real quick, is that's on the right-hand side, that's another Marine. He unfortunately lost both his legs in Afghanistan to an IED, and took him out to one of our local parks, and I let him get on one of my mountain bikes. And unfortunately, when we were riding, it wasn't that great for him, so there's a trailer on the back of my bike, if you can see that, and we put both of his prosthetic legs in the back. So we got a lot of looks. When we were riding around, there's a guy with 2 fake legs in the back of his trailer. But again, this was something that he had never done. So I get so excited to be able to expose, people to different opportunities, different things that you can do to get out there and be active. If you don't like what we do, well, by all means, let's figure something else out so you can still get out there and be as active as possible. So these are some of the pictures, and kind of along the same, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to steal off everybody else's conversation, but there was a lot of things that you guys said that really hit me, because this is exactly the way I am. Now, I'm still a Marine, so I'm still serving. So these kids that I get a chance to help, it's amazing. So we help kids with cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome. It doesn't matter. and to see the looks on their faces when we provide them an adaptive piece of equipment that they can get out and they can realize that they're still able to get out and be a kid. So, when I first started I Am Able, I was going to Kennedy Krieger when I was first diagnosed, and, that's a children's hospital, but I was still seeing Hugo Moser and, everybody down there. And when I would walk in there, I see all these kids with breathing tubes and feeding tubes and confined to chairs or confined to beds, and that really had a huge impact on me. So that was one of the reasons that I Am Able got started, because all I wanted to do is let these kids be a kid, get outside and ride a bike. Just not have to worry about the fact that you have cerebral palsy or you have spina bifida. Just get out and ride a freaking bike. But unfortunately, buying a bike for a kid, the first grant recipient, that's a little man, Jordan, right there in the middle. He was 5 years old. His bike cost $1,900. So, just like everybody probably knows as well, it's not cheap to be disabled. So, we want to give those opportunities for people to get those excuses out of their way and get them out and be as active as possible. So when we gave Jordan his bike, we brought out about 30 other kids, third graders, with all their bikes, so that Jordan could come out and he could see that there was 30 other kids riding normal, everyday bikes, that they were going to treat him the same, and they were just going to go out and ride a bike together. So these are the kind of the experiences that I have that really reaffirms to me what I'm doing is something positive. And you know what? I don't have time to worry about this. I don't have time to worry about the fact that I just busted my ass this morning, on a slippery floor, because you know what? I don't have time. I have to get back up. I have to get out there and help out the people who I've dedicated my life to helping now. So all I want to say is find a purpose. Find things that make you happy. Find things that give you fulfillment, because those problems and those challenges that you have are not going to seem as serious as they are. So, last thing, overcome. Don't let those challenges become let those challenges become your stepping stones and not your crutch. I have a saying for I Am Able. It's no excuses, just move. Just get out there and figure it out. Like the Marine Corps, and that's what really gave me the philosophy and gave me the mindset that I can pretty much overcome anything, because drill instructors really don't like your excuses. They don't like you whining to them that this is too hard or this is too tough, you can't figure it out. No, you just have to figure it out. So I want to motivate everybody to get out there and just, experience something. And it's so great to be able to see kids like Jordan. Jordan is now 13 years old. He's playing wheelchair basketball. He's out there doing all kinds of things. He's so pumped that he's going to get a chance to play on a basketball team. So the opportunities that we've been able to provide him is something that's going to be, changing his life. And that's the thing that, has really helped me to continue on. So the last thing, I'm going to show you this video. And this video is a movie that we made for my foundation when we first started. And there's all kinds of different people in here. And I was telling somebody earlier, I don't put this in my marketing, but I try to make people feel as guilty as hell. I want to make sure that you see a guy in a chair who's out active more than you walking around. So I want people to ask themselves, why am I not doing more? Because if I could go back and punch Chris Kegg in the face when I was 19 years old, when I would take any excuse to take a ride somewhere or, not walk or not run, I would go back in a heartbeat and be like Forrest Gump and just be out running all over the damn place. So hopefully this video can show you all the different, things that are available now, and, hopefully it'll motivate you a little bit.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in rivers, and the tears come streaming down your face, when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. And high up above or down below, when you're too in love to let it go. But if you never try, you'll never know just what you were. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. Tears stream down your face, and tears stream down your face. I promise you I'll learn from your mistakes. Tears stream down your face, and lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
Thank you so much. You know, kind of in closing, so again, my name is Chris Kegg. I have amen. Jesus. I swear I'm tough. But you know what? I'm living my life and I'm not letting amen define me. Jesus. I'm going to showcase to everybody that you can still get out there and do as much as you can. So, you know, please don't, I say this all the time, I would be very arrogant to feel sorry for myself because there are so many people that I meet with my I Am Able Foundation, you know, somebody who's a quad, who doesn't have the dexterity in their hands, somebody who lost both hands, somebody who lost, you know, I have a woman who lost both hands, a foot, and a part of her leg. You know, everybody's got challenges. How can I sit here and say, oh, well, this sucks, I'm in a chair, I have AMN? No, just get out there and do the best you can. So please, find something that's going to define you and something that's going to, you know, continue to challenge you and, you know, hopefully redefine exactly what your life is going to be about.
Chris, thank you so much for that. Could you briefly share with us about your personal disease progression from the time that you were diagnosed till now? What have been the stages and steps along the way?
Well, I'm a lot more aggressive than my brother because I got it a lot faster. So when I was diagnosed, I was, you know, just having the tripping over my feet and not being able to run. I could still walk fine. Then it got to the point where, you know, about a year when I got out, started falling over, started using a cane, and then probably about another, you know, 6 months or a year, I started using 2 canes, and then within 5 years, I was in a chair. And that's something that I remember when I first met with Dr. Moser. You know, he said you might be in a chair in 5 years, and I remember going to my base when I was checking out, and I was telling everybody, because at the time I was only 19 years old. I really didn't think, I was like, oh yeah, I might be in a wheelchair in 5 years, but it actually happened. So 5 years, and then since then, you know, it's been gradually, you know, getting worse. You know, so I still stand up. I still have feeling. You know, I still have the ability to do a lot of things. So I have a truck. I throw my chair in the back of my truck, and then I kind of, you know, just gimp my way back to the front. But I can't, you know, get around like some of you guys just with a cane anymore.
And have you experienced any other, besides the gait, have you experienced any other abnormal symptoms, stuff that kind of stands out that's like been pretty pronounced?
You know, to be honest, I mean, I obviously I had the same, you know, same things that I'm sure, you know, everybody else is experiencing, you know, the personal stuff that we don't really need to talk about, but, you know, I've figured out how to make the best of everything, you know, but I don't have any pain. I know my brother and my other brother, who's younger than both of us, he's got some, you know, some pain in his legs. That's something I don't have. The only pain that I have is the pain that I create myself. So if I get in a wreck of my bike, then I hurt, but I don't have any, like, you know, pain all the time. You know, at night I'll have some spasticity and some tone, and sometimes it's a pain in the ass to sleep, but I sleep like a stone, so I have no problem with that. Thank you very much. And my empire is building. I only help right now in the Mid-Atlantic region, but I was telling her I want to help as many of the AMN and ALD communities. So please, don't hesitate to grab a brochure, reach out to us. I would love to have you guys at my facility. You know, check it out. You can try some bikes out, just experience all the great things that I just showed you guys.